Hi, I'm Allison for Leading Edge Dog Show Academy, and today we're gonna talk about keeping the equipment we use specifically at the dog show clean and kind of well maintained, I guess. That to me, the two of them go hand in hand, right? So we're gonna start up here at the top at leashes. If you know me, you know I don't wash my leashes ever because I think I'm washing the luck out of them. But guess what? You can wash your leashes. I have friends that wash their leashes every single week after the dog show. They stay much whiter than mine do, and they typically wash them. Some people just throw them like in a lingerie bag and throw them in the washer dryer. Some people wash them in a sink with detergent and like a whitening thing, and then hang them up to dry, or again, throw them in the dryer in a lingerie bag. Yeah, I don't clean mine, but you can. So there you go. That's the good news. And for my leashes, I will kind of like, I do take a look at them, and if they have like a little knot of hair around them or a knot that I don't want in the leash, I used to have a tradition with some dogs that every time they won a best in show, they got a knot in their lead. So, and yeah, so I like to keep my leashes, at least neat and tidy. So folded on their little leash bar, and then with the tails tucked back there. Collars, right? So we have metal collars, like this one happens to have a gold finish. Our collars can get tarnished. It doesn't happen very often, or they can get like a buildup of product or something on them that just makes them feel like not very clean. And I mean, super easy. I like to pull off any hair that gets caught around the collar whenever I see it, just as a matter of fact, right? But just like use a little towel and just like really clean off the collar. If you do see any tarnish on it, especially if you're gonna use it on a white dog, I would wash it with dish soap. I would dry it thoroughly. So dry it thoroughly, I'm gonna leave it on a towel, I maybe, for a day, and maybe flip it over halfway during the day, might hit it with a dryer. And then if I was worried about that it had tarnished and I was going to use it on a white dog, I would use a white towel or paper towel and rub it fiercely to make sure I'm not getting any of the tarnish, in case there is any tarnish like in between the links. I've had this happen like I think only twice in the whole time I showed dogs, but yeah, it wasn't a very fun experience to have like tarnish on my dog's coat at the neck. So just a little tip for you there to also make sure your collars are nice and clean. Now, remember, we have spent a lot of money on this equipment, right? So whenever possible, if you have like a little cloth or something, you could just be either wiping out, or if your tack box ends up in your grooming room, you could use your shop vac and just like shop vac out all of the hair, because a lot of times like people will bring me brushes or combs or shears that aren't working great for them, and they're like impacted with hair and really just disgustingly dirty. And dog hair, even just by itself, is damaging, right? Like hair can cut you. Like think of a hair shirt used to be a punishment. So keeping even the dog hair out of there is just going to go a long way in keeping your equipment nice and neat and clean. So one of the things that I do is I'm gonna take a wider tooth comb, and I'm gonna go through all my brushes gently, and I am going to take the hair out of the brushes for like bare minimum. I have zero time. I am running to the airport to catch a flight. Bare minimum, the hair is coming out of my brushes. Same with a bristle brush, right? I'm gonna take the hair, this is a really old Mason Pearson. I'm gonna take all the hair out of it. Slicker brushes, I'm gonna go with the bend of the, right? Remember, all slicker brushes have a bent pin. I'm gonna go, for some reason I don't have one in my tack box. I'm gonna go with the bend to take all the hair out. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. If I want to, if I have a buildup of chalk or something, remember, I'm gonna keep my brushes that I use for chalking marked, so I'm not using my chalking brushes. But if I have time, I'm just gonna wipe off the excess chalk around the edges. I also like to have a spray bottle that says Listerine on it. It's going to be diluted about 10% Listerine and water. Now, you can use this for lots of things. You could spray, if you have to clean out a dog's ears, you're cleaning their teeth, you just want a little bit of it's a disinfectant, but I will also just lightly spray my brushes with it. Now you notice that I didn't get my brush soaked with it. My brush is clean. I'm just using that to disinfect it, right? Combs are another matter, right? So we want to make sure we're taking all the hair out of our combs, right? Because again, just the dirt and oil from that hair, never mind whatever product you use on that hair, can destroy the finish on your comb and can just build up on your comb. Now, for me, I'm a comb cleaner, right? I show poodles, I'm putting hairspray in them. The hairspray builds up on my comb all the time. But you would be surprised at the amount of people that ask me to come help them with a trim or combing out or to show them something, and they have like a Sheltie or a Saluki or something, and they do have product buildup on their combs. If you're chalking your dog and the chalk is just even in your general area, there's a chance that your comb has buildup on it, right? So I might use something like, I'm gonna clean that buildup off basically every night of the dog show, right? So I'm gonna spray it with self-rinse, and I'm gonna spray it like quite generously. And I will sometimes, if I have a basin of water, I'll put warm water in there, but I'm definitely gonna use my fingers and really trying to work that product out of the comb, right? Some product's gonna come out easier than others. If you've been cleaning your comb every day, it's going to be cleaner than others. If you haven't cleaned your comb until you saw this video, it's probably gonna take you a little while, and I would suggest maybe putting them in that dish pan. But then I'm going to use a towel, and I'm just gonna like pull, like I'm pulling quite firmly to make sure that I'm getting that build up, and like look at your comb to make sure it's clean. So many people don't understand how important combing any breed is to get that finished look that you want. People tell me, my Australian Shepherd doesn't look as plush and pretty as somebody else's. It's your combing. My poodle doesn't look as scissor to somebody else's. It's your combing. And sometimes it's actually your comb. Your comb is such a disaster, you're never gonna be able to get it right. So cleaning your comb is just like so important. Another thing that is really important to me is our scissor and shear care. Now, several reasons why this is really important, and one of them is the fact that we have spent so much money on them, right? And then people take their 7 shears that are worth between $100 and $400 each, they cram them all in the drawer, because that's what they think this drawer is, and then they like slam the door shut, and then they wonder why the shears don't work. That is why, right? So most scissors today come with some kind of case, right? Hopefully yours comes with a case like this that zips up. This case takes 4 pairs of shears. I have it overloaded right now, but even though I have it overloaded, I'm using the little cleaning cloth so that when I put my extra shears in it, and I do that because I just really like this case, I put the little cleaning cloth, and then it also has this little separator. I keep them in there. It has this little tube of shear oil, more about that in a second. And my shears are always in here, and this case, it's not just thrown in like this. I actually zip it up and take really good care of my shears. So this keeps them clean, it keeps them protected, and they're not like getting all dull. It lasts, like the edges last longer. Shears have a finite number of times they can be sharpened. So if you're sharpening them extra times because you're slamming them in your drawer, you're not helping yourself out, you're costing more money, right? So let's go into cleaning our shears. So most of your shears not only come with a case, they're gonna come with like a little cloth like this, and if they don't, find one from your old eyeglasses that you have or something. And after you use your shears, literally every night at the dog show, you're just gonna open up your shear, and you're just gonna gently, you're not gonna cut your finger, you're gonna go down each blade, maybe a couple times, and actually look at them and make sure that they're clean, because that little bit of hair, remember, hair is coarse, it is gritty, and hair itself makes your scissors dull. So if cutting hair makes your scissors dull, the hair sitting between those blades and the blades moving around, traveling from show to show, walking from one place to the other, is going to make the shear dull, right? So do yourself a favor, clean them off every night, right? So every time you use them, not whenever you think about it, or, oh my God, Allison just showed me a video, I should do that now. Most of our shears also come with this little teeny tiny thing of shear oil, and you will do yourself a big favor if you just put one little dabby do right at the apex of the shear, which I didn't do a very good job of showing you that, so here it is. One little dabby do right at the apex, and then I just go yep, that sounds clean. And then I just give it another little wipe in case there's any excess oil, and I'm done, right? It really only takes like 5 seconds if you're not telling somebody how to do it on camera. The other thing, if your shears either come with, or when they are sharpened, some kind of tip protector, guess what? Hang on to that little puppy, right? That's just gonna help things stay sharper longer. It's gonna be completely fine. So you can keep them in there. So please, please, please keep your shears clean, keep them in their case, clean them. If you didn't clean them Friday and you remember Saturday, do it Saturday. It's fine, but just do it as often as you can, especially when you're building a new habit, right? I also like to have a pair of what I call utility scissors that are cheap $5 scissors that I got, that I use this for opening packages of bait, for cutting the vet wrap off my brush handles, for actually cutting the vet wrap, right, when I need it at the dog show. Anything that needs to be cut that isn't my dog's hair for a show trim gets cut with these scissors. These scissors are allowed to be in that drawer, okay? Now, clippers. Kind of same thing. Clippers are expensive. Do yourself a favor, make sure you're wiping off that excess hair. Same reason, right? If you get one of a doggy toothbrush, an old toothbrush, a new toothbrush, a toothbrush from the dollar store, get yourself a toothbrush. After every time, just wipe the hair out of the blade of your clipper. Again, that same hair is still grit. Even the clean hair is making your equipment dull. Never mind the hair that's dirty, so you have grit as well as hair in there making the blade dull. And of course, clippers also come with clipper oil. You don't need to keep a scissor oil and a clipper oil in your tack box. I don't. But what I do is I use my scissor oil because it's usually smaller. I put a little dab. Again, I did a terrible job of showing you. I put a little dab on each corner of the blade, and then I turn the clipper on for literally that long, just so that it has time to go across the blade. I wipe it off and I put it safely back into my tack box, right? You know, I like to just make sure things are tightened up as they go into the tack box so they're not making things leak all over the place. That include, you know, my pin brush is going to go up here, my toothbrush, right? So I'm going to make sure that I'm really careful when I'm putting my shears away, that this case is all zipped up. Now it is. And I just keep everything in my tack box all ready to go. And that is how I clean and look after my equipment. Remember that Listerine spray? You can spray it on your combs, you can spray it on your brushes just super lightly. It's going to help disinfect things if you're worried about anything like that. And that's how I keep my equipment clean. Hey everyone, thanks for watching today's video. Please leave us a comment below, let us know what you thought, and as well, if you have any ideas for future content that you'd like to see, you can put them down there as well. You can head over to leadingedgedogshow.com where you can find our free, premium, and subscription content, and we'd love to have you join us there. As well, don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on those notifications. That way you never miss another free video tutorial. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.